Welcome to another episode of Let Me Tell You Why That's Funny. Today we are going to be talking about sketches, using a sketch from The Whitest Kid You Know as our main example. Now when I say sketch comedy, the first thing you're going to think about is probably Monty Python. And rightly so. It's hard to argue that anyone ever did it better. Even though sketch performance has been around since the days of vaudeville, it's safe to say that no one made the art form more iconic than the Monty Python team. And by iconic, I mean world acknowledged. I know they wrote for other shows before, I know that they all cite the Goon Show as a big influence, but the Ramones cited the New York Dolls as a big influence, and you're not going to tell me that the New York Dolls are more punk rock than the Ramones. Anyway, my point is, Monty Python set the standard that all of the sketch shows aspire to live up to. Now the reason I'm using The Whitest Kid You Know instead of Python as my example to talk about sketch show is, well, A, choosing Python would be a very obvious choice. B, I really like The Whitest Kid You Know. And C, Python's almost too heavy to unpack. The summation you would come to with Python is that it's educated men making silly jokes, and that's apt, but it doesn't really do the show justice. Whereas, if I were to say The Whitest Kid You Know is highbrow, lowbrow humour, sums it up quite well.
I got a loaf.
I'm sorry, what?
A loaf? A beamer?
I'm sorry, I don't think we follow you, Sam.
BM time for American boy over here? Got a Yankee Doodle dandy?
Mom and Pop, I believe what he's trying to say is that he's got to use the water closet.
Oh, my.
Oh. All right, Sam, well, how much time do you think we have?
Don't know how long it is, but I can tell you it's moving at this speed.
So here's my theory of sketch. Sketch is observation or premise plus humour divided by time. The core of sketch humour is how long can you sustain the premise while also making it funny. I'm going to cite the Four Yorkshiremen sketch as my proof that this method has been around a very long time. The observation is that people who escape from working class backgrounds will inevitably judge people for not doing the same. Or, to take a less socialist read of that, older people think that the younger generation don't know what hard times are.
You're right there, Robert. I did right. Who'd have thought, 40 years ago, that we'd be sitting here drinking Chateau de Chasselas?
I would have been glad of the price of a cup of tea then.
Ah, cup of cold tea.
Aye.
Without milk or sugar. Or tea.
And out of a cracked cup at that. Yeah.
We never had a cup. We used to drink out of a rolled-up newspaper. Best we could manage was to suck on a piece of damp cloth.
But you know, I often think we were happier then, although we were poor.
Because we were poor.
Aye.
My old dad said to me, he said, money won't bring you happiness, son.
He was right.
Aye.
I was happier then. I had nothing. We used to live in a tiny, tumble-down old house with great holes in the roof. House? You're lucky to have a house. We used to live in one room, 26 of us. All there. No furniture. Half the floor was missing, and we were all huddled in one corner for fear of falling.
Room? You were lucky to have a room. We used to have to live in corridor.
Corridor? Oh, I used to dream of living in a corridor. That would have been a palace to us. We used to live in a water tank on rubbish tip. Every morning we'd be woke up by having a load of rotting fish dumped on us. House.
Well, when I said house, I mean 'twere only hole in ground covered by a couple of foot of torn canvas. But it were house to us.
So you can see the premise playing out there. The humour comes from the escalation of the premise. And that's where the art of sketch lives. How long can you draw out the premise before reaching the punchline?
Oh, you were lucky. We lived for 3 months in a rolled-up newspaper in a septic tank. Every morning we'd have to get up at 6, clean out rolled-up newspaper, eat a crust of stale bread, then we'd have to work 14 hours at mill, day in, day out, for 6pence a week. And then when we'd come home, Dad would thrash us to sleep with his belt.
Luxury. We used to get up at 3, clean the lake, eat a handful of hot gravel, then we'd work in mill for 20 hours for 2pence a month, then we'd come home and Dad would beat us about the head and neck with a broken bottle. If we were lucky.
Paradise. We had it tough. I used to have to get out at shoebox at midnight, lick road clean, eat a couple of bits of coal gravel, work 23 hours a day at mill for a penny every 4 years, and when we got home, Dad used to slice us in half with a bread knife.
Right. We used to get up in morning at 10:30 at night, half an hour before we'd gone to bed, eat a lump of poison, work 29 hours a day at mill for 8-year lifetime, come home, and each night Dad would strangle us and dance about on our graves.
Aye, and you try and tell that to the young people of today. Will they believe you? No.
We talked in the last video about how comedy builds. Well, sketch adheres to the same rules, but not being constrained by plot and having the freedom to do whatever it wants within the premise. In sketch, they can employ a technique that I call building on the madness.
Good morning.
I beg your pardon.
I said good morning.
At last!
I'm sorry?
After all these years! Welcome, comrade, welcome. Sit down, rest your weary elbows. You'll take a glass of vodka. Mr. Dalliard, break out the false passports and the rabbit skin hats. We are going to Moscow. What news? Comrade Stalin in rude health, I trust?
Wait a minute. All I said was good morning.
Precisely. The code. It is now 27 summers since Comrade Malensky stood slightly to the left of where you are now and told me that one day a man would come into this shop and give notice of his allegiance with the phrase, "Good morning." And that on hearing those words, Mr. Dalliard and I were to detonate our relatives and fly to Dover.
Fly to Dover.
Where a man named Smith would see us safely onto a goods train delivering livestock to Minsk.
No, wait. When I said good morning, all I meant was, good morning.
Oh.
You can be as strange as you want to within a sketch, as long as that strangeness doesn't take away from the premise of the sketch.
I just came in here to buy a model.
A model?
Yes.
A model?
Yes.
A model?
Yes.
A model?
Yes. I want to buy a model.
With or without plastic straps?
So, man walks into a shop. That's the premise. The madness that is built upon when he's in the shop, that all falls within the remit of the sketch, and that can be as strange as you
My
need it
son.
to be.
It's his birthday.
Your son?
Yes.
Just your son?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And when is this birthday of his?
Wednesday.
Yes, that's what I said. When's the day?
No, Wednesday.
Are you stupid or just plain deaf?
Wednesday.
Oh, you are genuinely stupid. I do apologize. Sorry, I thought you were just being deaf. Mr. Dalliard, command the earth to swallow me up. I do apologize, sir. Life must be hard enough for stupid people without tactless old bastards like that lady over there rubbing it into your face with salt widely. Mr. Dalliard, I've gone peculiar now.
And it's not just the longer form sketches where this applies to. You can do the same thing in short sketches, in character sketches, like in this man-stroke-woman sketch.
Hey, you see how fat she was?
She's pregnant.
What?
She's gonna have a baby.
What? Is this some new thing?
No.
Well, when did this start off?
A while back.
Never heard of it. Looks pretty stupid.
Where do you think babies came from? Babies.
Where did you think they came from? What the fuck is a baby?
The premise of this sketch is, the guy doesn't know what a baby is. That's funny, but there's not a lot you can do with it. So you get the mileage out of making him a recurring character that doesn't know what other stuff is.
What are you doing?
Seatbelt.
What? What for?
Safety.
What?
The lights come on, you've got to put your seatbelt on.
What? Well, when did this start?
What? Seatbelts?
Pointing. Looks pretty shit.
Just standard safety procedure when you're on board an aeroplane.
What the fuck is an aeroplane?
Seen an aeroplane before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have. It's what we are on now.
takes off in the sky, goes to different countries.
What aeroplane?
Do I look like an idiot?
Whoa, 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 hang on. What's that? Sweet baby Jesus, what's happening now? Ah! 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 Make it stop, you fat fuck! Ah!
Now, there's another core staple of humour that I've observed that we have yet to discuss. Comedy is the subversion of expectation. This Whitest Kid sketch that I want to use as the main example is a great example of that. It covers everything we've talked about so far. It shows how comedy comes from a subversion of an expectation. It shows how sketch can derive humour from sustaining a premise. It's even got 3-act structure built in there for you classicists.
Oh, Hamlet, 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 Hamlet! The vampire army has taken the city!
We must check the castle tower and make sure that no vampire have gotten into our home base.
You wait here. I'll go check the castle.
Yes, you do that.
Oh my God, Hamlet! I just saw a fucking vampire! It bit me right in the neck!
So you have the sketch premise in the first 30 seconds. It's a Shakespearean play about vampires. The stuff you can do with that: you can make use of the Shakespearean dialect. You can make it more about the bad actors than the bad play. You can play with the vampire genre. And yet at the 1 minute mark, we get another premise.
I shall hunt each and every one down in this town and drive a wooden stake through their heart. All this for my friend Othello. Oh no! Hamlet, turn around! He turned into a vampire! He's gonna bite you!
It's now a sketch about a sort of heckler.
Hey everybody, I can't watch this!
Well, some of us are trying to.
John, please.
Who said that?
And not only have we made use of the camera here, which is something that's really done in sketch, but we've added a third premise with a comic reveal of Abraham Lincoln.
Say it again! Turn around and say it again! Turn around, say it
Will
again!
you please be quiet?
John, that is the President of the United States.
I don't care who it is, he's ruining Hamlet.
Oh! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up now! Now you fucked up! 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 Now you have fucked up!
So the humour now comes from Abe Lincoln being a dick, which is subversion of the expectation of Abe Lincoln, but it's also a good example of how much mileage you can get out of a premise. Because the longer the president's brazing goes, the funnier it gets.
What? 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 Hey!
What?
What? Huh? I don't know why you're looking up at me, bitch. Play's on stage. I'm not putting on a play up here. I'm trying to be entertained right now.
Mr. President, be quiet.
John, calm down.
Listen to the woman, John. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Hey, Acty, stop the play. Acty. Ho! Acty. Hey, ho! I gotta go to the bathroom. I drank too much liquid. Now I gotta piss.
The Whitest Kid You Know shares something in common with Monty Python and Big Train in that the sketches sort of just end. You don't necessarily need a punchline in sketch comedy because the sketches are meant to lead into each other, so the flow of the show continues. Python got away with this by using animated segues, while the Whitest Kids get around it by just drawing attention to how silly the premise of the sketch is.
Oh, shit! Ah! Ow! Ow! He's hit me in the butt! He's hitting my butt! Don't break my butt! Don't break my butt! He's breaking my butt!
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what actually happened on that fateful night all those years ago. American historians and documentarians believe that the actual events were far too embarrassing for our fledgling nation to endure. But Abraham Lincoln actually got hammered in the ass so much that he died of being hammered in the ass. Thank you. Good night.
When the conclusion to your sketch is, he died from being hammered in the ass, then you're showing that you know that the joke comes from the premise, not the narrative. Ergo, you don't need a narrative, and you don't need a narrative conclusion. Speaking of narrative conclusion, that's the end of today's lecture, or episode. I don't want to be one of these YouTube personalities that say, hey guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and blah, 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 but you need to subscribe to know when the next video is coming out, because they're all dependent on how long it takes for the copyrights on the clips I use to get back to me. So yeah, subscribe. And we'll see you next time, where we're probably going to talk about sketch more, because there's a hell of a lot to get into in that. So again, subscribe and join me next time on what's this called? Let me tell you why that's funny.